Hi, and welcome to Coach's Corner. I'm Sean Anderson, your host, and on this week's edition of Coach's Corner, Ponca City Wildcat football head coach Josh Allen. He'll join us a little bit later on the show. Right now, we're going to start with Ponca City High School cross-country coach Larry Degan. And Coach Degan, a lot of activity happening with the cross-country team. Take us back September 15th at Choctaw meet, and there was also a meet in Claremore on the 28th. Can you recap those two for us before we start talking about the month of October?
Well, the Choctaw meet was a new meet for us. We'd never been there before, and it was high school only, and the kids kind of enjoyed doing that. It was a little different. We typically take the middle school with us, but we decided to try one of these, and it was a really good meet, and the kids ran really well. It was a tough course because there was an area where they went back into the woods, and they called it the horse trail. Well, they called it that for a good reason, because it was a horse trail and it was sandy and it was really a tough course. So none of the times, even the winners, weren't great times, that they're typically running that time of year. But it was a good course and good competition. The kids did really well. We had 14 medals, I think. With varsity JV boys and girls together. And so it was a good meet for us. And then we went to Claremore last week. And that was a really good meet. The kids ran well. We had some really good times. Justin Thompson almost had a personal record, but he was very, very close. Noel ran really well. We had multiple. I think we had 12. A picture was in the paper on Sunday. 12 kids. That was middle school, high school combined. But it was a tough meet, but it was a really good meet for our kids.
Yeah, absolutely. Talk about your individual runners, Noel Lawver. Talk about her a little bit and what she's doing this year. Some pretty incredible things.
It is. Noelle is, she's kind of a throwback to the old days as far as kids who just do everything.
Yeah.
She's National Honor Society. I think she's president of the club, and she's a high stepper. She runs cross country and track. She's active in her church group. She's an FCA leader for us. I do FCA. And she's a leader in that. She just does everything,
Yeah.
and she's a great runner too. And there's a lot of college coaches coming and watching her each week, and so that's been fun to see her interact with those coaches, and they're just crazy about her, because she's really a sharp kid and can carry on a good conversation. And,
right.
And she's got something they want. She makes great grades, and is a great runner and a hard worker, and that's what they're looking for.
Having that kind of leadership on your team, how does that make a positive impact on the other athletes?
Well, anytime you've got a person like that, just such a rock solid person character-wise, but also tries to outwork everybody at practice each day, just makes everyone else want to do that. And so it's been a great thing for us, and real advantage to have a person like that part of the team.
Yeah. Well, October is a big month for the Ponca City Wildcat cross-country team, and for good reason. We're talking regionals and state later this month. We'll talk about that in a moment. But first, coming up, October 5th, this Thursday. So if you're watching this, this comes out later in the week. You may be watching this after the big Owasso meet. But regardless, tell us about Owasso. What do you expect?
Well, Owasso they're actually hosting it, but it's at Mohawk Park in Tulsa, where 2 weeks later the regional meet will be. And so, all the Eastern teams want to go run there in the Owasso meet because it'll be a preview for the regional. It's a flat course. It goes through the trees. We're hoping that it doesn't rain, because as it goes through the trees, there's no grass. And so if there's no grass and it's been raining, it's going to be muddy and slick, but it'll be that way for everyone. We ran there last year, and that's where regionals were. And so, we're looking forward to that. That's where Noelle qualified for state there last year. It's her first year to run cross country, and she comes out and qualifies for state. That was pretty incredible. We feel like we have some other kids that are going to be able to possibly do that this year. And so we're real excited about getting over there and just seeing how we do.
All right, fantastic. Regionals, October 21st, Mohawk Park, as you said, and then state on the 28th. So your athletes are really getting in regionals and state mode. How do you prepare them for regionals?
Well, we'll continue to prepare like we have until the last few days before we get there. We won't stop running hard. We'll just stop running so far.
Yeah.
And some people taper and really rest up to that, but sometimes that creates bad habits. If you practice running slow, you run slow real well, and we don't want to do that. So we want to run fast, and so we hope that it worked well for us last year. We'll probably stick to a routine about like that this year.
All right, Ponca City Wildcat cross country head coach Larry Degan with us on Coach's Corner. And so as the regionals and state after the 28th, the cross country season over, then what's up next for the cross country team?
Well, some of the kids will go on to track and to basketball and other things that they do, and the other kids will be in an off-season type thing where we'll do a little running there and kind of keep that going, because runners need to run. They don't want to stop, and because you can stop just a few days. A weekend makes Monday tough.
Really?
If you don't run a little bit during the weekend, and so they've really built up to a good point. Now, and they don't want to lose that, so they'll try to continue to build on that.
Absolutely. Coach Larry Degan with us. Thank you, Coach, for being here.
You bet.
It is Coach's Corner, and we continue with the Ponca City Wildcat football team head coach Josh Allen here after a big win in Bartlesville Friday night, and now homecoming. Sand Springs comes to Solon Stadium for the big homecoming game. We'll talk with Coach Josh Allen coming up right here on this edition of Coach's Corner.